Coming at you from the OLR podcast studio.
It's really more of a basement.
Coming to you from the OLR basement studio.
But it's still a podcast.
Coming to you from the podcast basement studio.
Yeah, but you still need to say OLR.
Coming to you from the OLR podcast basement studio.
Oh, that's way too many words.
Coming at you.
That's not enough. You still need to say OLR.
Let's just start. It's OLR.
All right, welcome to tonight's edition of One Lane Road Podcast, a special edition. Like I was telling her off there, we don't get to do these very often anymore because of life. But so here, this is a special edition with Julie Roberts. Julie, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I get to talk to y'all again.
Well, I'm glad you know it. I'm glad you know that's what the deal is. But I'm just kidding.
It is.
We're thrilled to have you. I know it's going to be a good interview when we've already talked for almost 20 minutes off the air. So it's always good to have somebody that's going to go back and forth with us. And like I said, you're maybe the best guest because you called us, and that never happens, ever. So I appreciate your punctuality.
Oh, well, I appreciate you. I mean,
don't give him a big head. Don't give him a big head.
Well,
I can hear it coming.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't. But just let me say one thing. Dustin is, I've played a show with Dustin before, and we're getting ready to do another one, which we're talking about tonight. But he's like into detail and wants to make sure everything is okay, and that's amazing and rare. Also, like when you said I called you, well, everything that you do, Dustin, is rare too, and it's a blessing because artists really love that. Working with promoters like yourself.
I was gonna pay her. I did. I sent her Venmo right before we come on to say that. And I appreciate that. I
got it. It came through.
Perfect. Glad the bank cleared. No, I do appreciate you saying that. I mean, and you know where this is at. I mean, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I always tell musicians, I said, I promise you, I'll put everything into a show. And the crowd will give it back to you, as you've seen, of course, with the festival. And we'll talk about the festival briefly. But yeah, my crowd doesn't let me down. Everybody, we just love music down here, and we're honored when someone of your magnitude plays. So I do appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
That meant a lot. So
it's the truth, and I appreciate you inviting us to last year's festival. This year's festival, we were in Arkansas. We couldn't make it. But also, I appreciate you hosting our first, and I don't know if we'll have another one, but our album release party, which is amazing. And I'm just excited about it. And the only thing I got to tell you, and women who are listening will understand, I was going to get my roots done before the show.
Yeah.
And I got a text today from my hair girl, and she said, "Hey, there's a hurricane coming in Florida, and I'm stuck, and I'm not going to be able to get back to do your roots tomorrow," because I was getting them done tomorrow for the show. So y'all just will have to forgive the roots on Saturday night.
No, we got to find you a hairdresser before Saturday night. Then we can't. We got to find. If somebody listens to this by tomorrow, we got to find this girl a hairdresser. You can't. You're already slumped.
You know what?
Yeah. You're already slumming it coming down here enough. You can't be looking rough now. Not you'll ever look rough. We got to get those highlights.
Listen, I got some spray that sprays blonde.
I got you.
I know how to make it work.
I didn't doubt it. So let's. We need to talk about this album first. We'll get into the release party. Like I said,
Okay.
We can talk about the festival, but just knowing you, I met you 6 years ago. I think it was about 6 years ago. At the City Winery. That's when you and Shooter Jennings first hooked up on this, right around that time, I know. And I know it's taken a while, longer than you probably anticipated. I know last time you came on here was just a few weeks before the festival in October 2021. You were talking about the album. You were optimistic about it. It was going to see a release date. And so another full calendar year, here we are. Ain't in No Hurry, perfectly titled album, I think. So just kind of backtrack me almost from October, or not October, but of 2016 when I met you, when you were at the Shooter Jennings show at City Winery. Kind of take me into how Shooter reached out to you, which, I mean, I didn't know a lot of this backstory until some of your recent posts. So I think your listeners would love to kind of hear the backstory on how Shooter reached out and how the process has been the last 5-6 years.
Yeah. So I saw you in 2016. So Shooter reached out in 2014 via email and said, hey, we met each other at a festival in 2004. He and I both were I was on Mercury, and I believe he was on Universal South, which are both under Universal Records. And we were playing the same festival. And he said, I don't know what you've been doing. Again, this was 2014 when I got this email. He said, we met back in 2004 or 5, and I don't know what you've been doing, but I always loved your voice. And my sister, he had a sister, or has a sister named Julie Jennings, played a song with an artist that she was working with named Danny Dawson called Why Can't I Have You? And he said, and for some reason, I immediately thought Julie Roberts should record this song, and I'm going to find her and reach out to her. And so in his email, he said, so I have this song, and I don't think you've made your career record, and I want to help you make it, but can we start with this one song? And then, thankfully, but so that I wouldn't know it was like some random person pretending to be Shooter, he referenced an agent that we were both familiar with and worked with at one point. And the agent had given him my email. And so I wrote him back and I said, Shooter, I've just released 2 independent records on my own. We had just gone through the flood and lost our house. My mom and I lost our house and everything. And it was just, I didn't have the money to make a new record. And I said, I can't afford to make a new record. And he said, can you get it out to LA? Because he lives in Los Angeles. Can you get out here and let's just start with this one song? And I said, actually, I can, because I'm speaking. I was diagnosed with MS in 2005. And so I was doing some speaking for other, like inspirational speaking to others living with MS. And I happened to be going out to California quite a bit. And I said, actually, I'm coming out here to do a speaking event and would love to meet up. And he said, well, if we're going to meet up, let's record this song. And so that's how it started. And so he reached out to me. And that one song is not on the new album, but it was on The Ranch, the TV show.
Coming Home
with Ashton Kutcher. Yeah. And so it was on that. And then we just took it from there, honestly. And it was over a period of, I think Shooter and I both said 6 years maybe, where I would go back and forth. And it was really fun working with Shooter and working in LA. And I think I've told you this before, because we never really had, like in Nashville, when you record, you have a set time. Like they have it's very structured. 10 to 1 is a session, and then like 2 to 5 is a session. And in LA, or with Shooter at least, I'm not sure if the rest of LA works this way, because I'm only recorded with Shooter out there, but we would just meet at night. And we would record like into the middle of the night and order food, if we wanted to. And it was just more relaxed. I was able to be very creative with Shooter. He challenged me in many ways on this record, because I would come in. We knew that one song, and then I came in and he said, so what are you listening to these days? And I said, well, I'm just going ahead and advancing to the first single. I said, I've been listening to Ray LaMontagne music, New York City's Killing Me. And he said, well, let's do that one. And he said, and we both said, well, let's do Music City's Killing Me, because the reason I went to LA is because I didn't know where I fit in anymore. And he knew that. And he got me. And I just didn't know if I fit in here where I'm at right now, Nashville, or where my music belonged anymore. Yeah. And so he said, let's do Music City's Killing Me. And I said, okay. And I said, but I feel like it's a duet. And I had done a few shows with Jamie Johnson at the time, and I feel like Jamie really got me too, Jamie and Shooter. And so we reached out to Jamie, and Jamie said he would join me on that track. And that ended up being the first single off of the new record. And Ray LaMontagne, who wrote the original song, liked it, and said we could change the lyric to Music City's Killing Me. And so we were so excited about that. And so that's kind of how it went. Like, we would just get in the studio, and Shooter would say, hey, go write a song about, he knows Mama, like you've met my mom a million times.
Spitfire.
And you, yes, and so you have met her too. And he said, you need to go write a song about your mom. And he would send me back to the hotel, and he said, she's like this, she's worked her whole life, and she's still working, and she's in her 70s, full time, by the way.
Yeah.
And he said, go write a song about working women and your mom. And so then that's how All By My Damn Self came about. So, I mean, it was very different for me, because in Nashville, everything is so structured, going in the studio what you're going to do. But with him, it was like, and Shooter calls this project his passion project. And I guess because we didn't have like a label hanging over our heads and saying you need to finish it by then. And it drove me crazy that last time we talked it wasn't out. But I think it was kind of it was a blessing, because we were able to do the record that we wanted to do. And again, he challenged me in many ways. And the other way, you want me to keep talking?
Yeah.
This is not an interview with me. This is an interview with you. So
okay. The other way, another time when I showed up at the studio, he said, "Hey, I've been at my mom's house, and she and Waylon last year lived in Arizona, and he had been visiting her, and he said I was going through his work tapes, and work tapes are like when you're a songwriter." And you start a song, you record a little bit of it on a tape. And nowadays, I record little bits of songs on my phone, like my the memo,
the
voice memo
notes,
thing
yeah.
on your
Mm-hmm. Voice memo,
yeah. And but when I started in music, I had a little recorder, and that was what he found of his dad, Waylon Jennings, and he found a chorus. And he found it like right before he was coming to meet me. And he said, all I have is this chorus that my dad started. And he said, can you go write the verses, and we'll come back and record it. And all he had was, fool, fool, don't be a fool. Don't go swimming in the devil's pool. Pull you down, Mother Nature's rule. Don't go swimming in the devil's pool. And he said, I don't even know what he was thinking.
Yeah.
And he said, but will you write it? And that was like a challenge, I was like, and that's what I love about Shooter. Like, he believed in me enough that he thought, you can do this, you can go write it. And I just went back to the music that I loved, the Merle Haggard, the Waylon Jennings, the Patsy Clines, and they all sang about stories. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, I'm going to write this as a story song. And Dustin, at the time, I was listening to lots of true crime podcasts, and I think that's where that story came from on Devil's Pool. But I just made it a story song because I felt like that's what he was going to do. All he had was the chorus, and he never finished it.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful that Shooter trusted me to finish his dad's song, and that's Devil's Pool. And I'm so proud of that song on this record. But anyway, that's how our sessions went in LA. I would show up, and he'd say, "So what? Do you have anything you've written that you want me to listen to, or whatever?" Or like, I'm just looking through my CD booklet right now, one of them, he said, that same time he had been with it at his mom's house listening to his dad's stuff, he said, I found the song that my mom recorded on a record, and the record was never released by the label, and I think you should do it. And he actually did not, I mean, it was an actual album, and he recorded it on his voice memo on his iPhone, sent it to me, and in the hotel. And I said, yeah, I love it. And it was called Easy Street. And Easy Street is on the record. And the more I learned about the song Easy Street, Johnny Cash actually recorded it too. And you can find his version of it. But Jesse Coulter, his mom's version, never came out because that record was never released. And I'm just glad that he sent it to me because it's one of my favorites on the record. Because, again, it's a story song, and it's just very country. It just reminds me of the country music that I love.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I've been, burning your ears off.
No.
So.
I'm just glad we're recording and I'm not taking notes right now.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up. That's why I wasn't good in college. I couldn't take good notes.
You're crazy.
Hey, you know what occurred to me as you just casually sang better than, it was just beautiful what you did there. I was thinking, that's what people think they sound like when they sing. Like whenever they're belting it out in the car, what you just did was what people think they sound like. But nobody actually sounds like that. You know what I mean?
Aww.
That's what I think I sound like.
That.
Like whenever I hit that real high spot in Fancy when I'm singing, I think, I sound just like that. But I don't.
You know what? I cannot wait to hear you sing Fancy. That makes me excited.
Hey, this is neither here nor there. This has nothing to do with this conversation. But my roommate in college found me laying, not a teensy bit inebriated, laying in the floor in the kitchen when he come home, just belting Fancy out. I mean, by myself while we were in college. Just nobody else home. I'd probably been over at Dustin's at some point. But just laying in the floor in the kitchen by myself, belting Fancy out. Chucky come in and said, having a good time, ain't you? I said, the best, Chuck. There's nothing better than Reba and some Miller time.
I love that story so much. You have no idea. Okay.
I can't.
You better be there on Saturday. I need to hear a little chorus of it.
Yeah. You have to do it without me. I won't be able to make it Saturday. I'm otherwise engaged, but I'll sing it.
Okay.
And I'll sing it for you where I'm at Saturday. Just as loud as I can.
I'll have him put it on my voice memos here in just a minute, and we'll send it to Shooter.
Yes, do that.
Yeah, you won't be able to afford me next year after Shooter hears it when I belt it out.
So,
okay.
I told you through text that I think Devil's Pool is my favorite, just because it shows your range and it's a little different side of you than your fans have generally heard. I like a lot of the new songs, but something about that one, when you released that one, it just really stuck with me. And I'm obviously a huge Waylon fan. It's my oldest son named Waylon, and I just love the influence. It's the Jennings family. But I do want to talk about Shooter real quick. And I know you're touching on it, but I kind of want to give him credit where credit's due, because I kind of found you guys at the same time. You both released your first records in 2004, and when you went through the first couple albums, and you, like you say, you lost yourself a little bit, right? Shooter is the only guy I know that can do 3 country records, put out a concept rock album with Stephen King narrating it. That was a political record that was probably 10 years ahead of its time, that honestly lost a little bit of his fan base. And I thought he was kind of, I don't want to say this, but maybe speaking for himself, but kind of lost himself a little bit around the 2010, 11. And I think enough credit when he met Colonel John Hensley, I think, and like I said, I've never talked to Shooter about this, but I just feel like John Hensley had such an impact on Shooter's career and life when he put him out there with the Waymore's Outlaws. And I think that reinvigorated him. And what I don't think Shooter gets enough credit for is he could have rode his daddy's last name so far, but there was just a brief mention of Waylon on those first couple records. Then he does the album, then he gets with John, and he does another country record or two. Then he does a disco record. Then and he's all over the place. But about 10 years ago, he started, to me, when music wasn't so hard, wasn't so easy to find on all these streaming apps we have now. he was really pushing independent country music artists. The first time I heard of Sturgill Simpson, Whitey Morgan, Justin Wells, who I'm good friends with now, Jason Eady, was all because of Shooter Jennings. He was really promoting those guys in like 2012, 13. And then, you know, for him to just basically pause his touring schedule and to go into producing, and you can really, really tell, you know, how much he loves it, is because, I mean, I love Shooter as an artist, but just to see the passion he has as a producer now to win, you know, back-to-back Grammys with Brandi Carlile and Tanya Tucker, you think, where's he going next? Oh, he's doing a record with Marilyn Manson. You know, I mean,
right?
An American Aquarium and the Fifth on the Floor record he produced that I loved. I just don't think, and Justin Wells said this perfectly. He said when a book about independent country music is written, it'll be judged on how much credit Shooter Jennings gets for how he exposed so many artists in that time frame. And so when I seen you guys linking up at that concert, I knew it was going to be special. And for me, this is, you know, when you didn't do anything for a while, and Shooter was trying to find himself. I just think it was a perfect mix of someone believing in you again, and Shooter's just. I just hope that people one day give him the credit he deserves for doing projects like this one.
I think they will, and I think, like, you know, and this was like a huge surprise and gift from God that Billboard, you know, did an article on my record and noted both Shooter and Erin Enderlin for being producers on this record. But I just think, and I still text and follow Shooter all the time, and he's doing a whole nother thing now, and he's like recently been playing at the Grammy Hall of Fame or museum or whatever. So I think that he will, and he is, and I if I can do anything to help that, then I will too, because I agree with you. He's just he's a true music lover. He's a true I mean, he likes all kind of music, but he really loves. I mean, number one, he gets what I love, and that's what. And he didn't want me to change that. He challenged me, and I appreciate that. But I think people are going to see it if they haven't already.
And he's got great management now with, you know, the transition from when John and now Adam. I mean, he's just got a great management team around him. And he just does whatever he wants. And, you know, that's you hear a lot of old timers say, well, he's not really like his dad. Well, you can look at it that way, but kind of he is, because Waylon done every damn thing he ever wanted to do down to the very end. And Shooter's essentially doing the same. He's not, you know, going to any singular genre. I saw him at Riverfront, at CMA Fest one year, and he played with Waymore's Outlaws. So he's hitting the daddy, you know, the part of all the old timers that were there to see Waylon's boy, you know. And then he gets his darker guitar riff, and I looked at Justin Wells, and I said, no, he's not about to play Nirvana at CMA Fest, and he played Nirvana's Something in the Way, and then he played Gunslinger. See, I love that. And he played Gunslinger for the 85-year-old people that was in the crowd. But you know Gunslinger, you know the lyrics, right?
No.
Oh, well, it was,
he's a MF and
Gunslingers. I'm just, you can imagine it was just funny. It was just Shooter doing what he wanted to do. So I just,
which is what I love. That is why I love him.
Yep.
What I love and why you love him. He doesn't have to, it doesn't hurt that his dad is Waylon Jennings, but he doesn't have to explain why he loves something.
Yeah.
And why he's passionate about something. He's doing his own path, and I just am so thankful and grateful that he believes in what I do. And, like, I just have to tell you this real quick, and I'm going to let my dog in here because she's crying outside the door. Come on, Maya.
Tell her to keep it down, please.
Yeah. She's like, I want in here with you. Come on. Maya, I have two pit bull mixes, and Maya's the one that always wants to be with you. We call her the love bully. But anyway, I sent Shooter the Billboard article and another article about this record, and he wrote me back. He said, "Okay, you just made me cry. I'm so happy this is out." And that is him. He is so genuine. He's amazing, and he wanted this out long before, but he wanted it his way. He wanted a major. I think I told you that he wanted it to be with a major label, and the music we made just didn't connect with what you're hearing on current radio. And so I just said, finally, hey, I'm just going to put this out. And so he sent what we had to me, and we had it, what needed to be mixed and all of it mastered. And then I connected with Erin Enderlin in Nashville, who produced the last 5 tracks. Mm-hmm. And I got it out that way. But he's so happy that it's out. And I mean, he literally was in tears, and I know that is true when he texted me that, because he was just this was his, like he said, his passion project.
Yeah, you could have put out an album about tailgates and tan lines. You could have went to number 1 on Nashville radio 5 years ago. I don't know what you were waiting on.
Yeah,
you could have
that's right.
You could have made 12 songs about beer, and we would have heard it a long time ago.
Here's the thing: you can put the word beer in any title, and apparently that's the easiest way to get on the radio. Luke Combs.
Well,
Luke Combs is, to me, is in this new country era. He's probably one of the best voices that's out there in that new country. He's just so genuine in his voice. He can sing almost anything.
I agree with you. He's very country.
I love it. And this, he can't sing a song that doesn't have something to do with beer or brown liquor. I mean, he shoehorns that shit in there no matter. I mean, I don't know who's doing all the writing on it, but they get it in there no matter what. It's crazy.
You make me laugh. I do like his voice, though.
Yeah, he's a fantastic voice. It just, I don't know why they feel like they have to have that thing. I
actually, I was in mourning for about 2 weeks when Florida-Georgia line broke up. I don't know what you guys are talking about with.
Shut up.
Anyway, let's don't go there. Let's don't go there. There's no sense in that. We're here for good stuff. So what song are you proudest of on this album? I know it's hard to pick for 14, but is there one in particular?
That's a good question. As my pit bull sits here and waits for, she loves almonds, so she will sit and hand me her paw while I give her almonds. Most proud of, you know what? I think we've covered it. Devil's Pool I'm really proud of, just because I have a co-write with Waylon Jennings.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the song that is, there's, as you listen to the record, you see the ones that I've co-written, they're about my life. And those sometimes are hard to sing, sometimes not. Like, I don't know that I will ever sing The King and His Crown. That's on the record. Mm-hmm. About my dad. And that's because he took his life last year. And I just, Erin Enderlin produced that, and I sent it to her. Well, I backtrack a little bit. I was at Jamie Johnson's Opry induction, and one of my co-writers for The King and His Crown, which is on this record, it's track number, I don't know what track number it is, but doesn't matter. It's track number
King and the Crown?
12.
Yes, 12.
12.
Yep.
And he said, and I told him I was working with Shooter. At the time, he said, well, and my co-writer, who was at Jamie's thing, said, well, we wrote King and His Crown a long time ago. Why don't you record that? And I said, I kind of forgot about that song. And which is crazy how you can write songs and forget about them. And so I went back and I found it, and I sent it to Matt. And I said, and then I sent it, and Matt wrote me back. He said, you need to record this, because at the time we already had a session scheduled with Erin Enderlin, who was the second producer on the record. And he said, you need to send this to Erin. I think you should record this. And I said, I can't, because it's just too close to home. I said, and I forgive my dad for everything, And he said, but it could help other people going through the same thing, as you did when you were a child. And that was what the song's about. And I said, okay, let me think about it. And I sent it to Erin, and she said, yeah, I think you need to consider it. So we were in the studio, and I'd only planned to record 4 songs. And we finished them pretty quickly. And then she finally said, why don't you sing, let's just track Don't Call Me Baby, which ended up being the second song we released. And I said, okay. And I think that's one of the songs on the record that is most me as an artist. Mm-hmm. But going back to your question, I think Ain't in a Hurry, the title track, and that's why we made it the title track. I can relate to that most. Where I'm at in my life right now.
Yeah.
Because the first line, and I think everybody can relate to it, is right now I'm as young as I'll ever be. All the life that I've got left is right in front of me. And, I lost my dad and my mama, who basically raised me with mama in the last year, and my 2 dogs in the last year, which my dogs are my family members. And when I heard those lines, it made me think, I have these moments left in my life. I don't know when my last moment is, but I'm going to take each moment and not rush them and enjoy them. And that's what that song is about. When Erin said that to me, all I heard were the first 2 lines that I just read to you. And I said, okay, I've got to record that song. Can I record that song? And she said, yeah. And then jokingly later, I said, we need to make it the title of the record, because I know everybody thinks I wasn't in a hurry to finish this record, but I truly wanted it out, but I needed these songs on it, and especially needed that one. And everything happened at the right time, Dustin, because, when you and I talked off the phone, I was like ready for it to be out and didn't know how to get it out. But it was just like not my timing. It's all God's timing. And so I feel like that one is very special to me at this point in my life. All of them are. Yeah. Devil's Pool, obviously, because of Waylon, but Ain't in a Hurry. That's how, it's just a message that I want to live myself, And I think people our age, I don't even know how old you are, that our age would be any age. Yep. I want people to know to live each moment and not rush it by, because early in my career, life was moving fast, and there's so many things I don't remember about my early part of my career that were special, mm-hmm. And then I just want to take each moment. I have a son now, and I cherish each moment, and I'm living through him. Like I know you see me posting him seeing a pumpkin for the first time. Yeah. And that is truly, to me, it's like I'm living that moment through him. I'm living that song. Finally, I'm doing what I think I should do, and taking each moment and enjoying it. And I'm laughing, and I'm not like worried about, I won't kid you, I do worry about like, okay, how am I going to pay for Jackson's college? But like worrying about, tomorrow. I'm enjoying today. And that to me is the most, I think that's why we titled the record that, because it's my story, even though I didn't write it.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I mean, when I asked that question, I mean, I know it was a tough answer, because there is so many, and just dating back to, and I do think it's a perfectly titled album. I mean, just for the circumstance, but just the progression in life, how much you've evolved since. I mean, like I said, following your whole career. When I met you, you were single, hanging out with your mom. Then the next time we meet, you've had So some of these songs can relate throughout the year. So you wrote some of these in, like you said, 2014, 2015, all these years. Then you meet Matt, you have Jackson. So, I mean, your life has changed tremendously in the last, 5 years. And I can't imagine, to me, I just knew when I saw pictures on social media. And so I was very happy just from meeting you when I did in your point of your career, and then seeing and knowing how much this album meant to you. So when I saw the release date and all this stuff, I was truly, just happy for you because I know how much it meant to you. But I want you to talk briefly about, or you don't have to be briefly, but just seeing the picture on your social media from having Jackson on the stage at the Grande Ole Opry with Jamie Johnson. I mean, it's got to be the best feeling in the world having your son out there on the Opry stage.
Oh my goodness! Yes, it was amazing.
It's a good question. It's a good question, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it is
kidding.
a good question.
Just
I'm going to give you a lot of credit for that question.
No, I'm kidding.
It was actually. I love talking about him, and that moment was something I'd always dreamed about. I didn't know if I would ever be a mom, number one. I didn't know if I'd even ever get married. Are you kidding me? All I knew was
I was holding out hope for a long time, but I had to go in and get married. I couldn't wait on you any longer.
All I knew was sad relationships, and I love the sad country songs. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to live this.
Yeah.
But seriously, until I met Matt, I didn't have any idea. And I married late in life.
Yep.
I didn't get married till I was 39, and then
I'm not even 39 yet, so I can't relate.
Look at you! You cannot relate.
Almost.
And almost.
Yeah,
okay,
he's got
so
like a
then
month.
I didn't know. Okay, and you'll be 39 in a month.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you'll just have to let me know your birthday date. When I see you, your birthday, not date.
22nd. Don't forget it. We can't be friends. Anyway, go ahead. Tell your story. I'm sorry.
He gets very hurt about missing his birthday.
Well, I've not had Christmas presents since I was 13. I've not had birthday presents because of Christmas since I was 13. It's not a big deal. I'm not bitter about it.
So it's December, not November.
Yeah, December 22nd. Yeah, 1 month.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm sorry. We just go ahead with your answer. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So I didn't know that I wanted, honestly, to ever get married. And I knew I wanted children, though, because I have an amazing mom, and I just wanted to be able to be an amazing mom. Yep. So then I meet Matt, and I get married at 39, and from God, I'm sorry, I had to let Maya back out. That was my dog who came in to eat almonds because she eats almonds. And then, I'm sorry, I'm telling you about my whole life. And then she leaves when she's done. But anyway, it was a journey to have Jackson, my son. It was we did IVF for 2.5 years. And then, because I was older and he is like a miracle. And going back to your question, what it meant to me to have him on the Opry stage. So years ago when I played the Opry, I was there, and Vince Gill was playing the Opry also, and Amy Grant was on the side of the stage, and their little girl, she's probably not little anymore, but her name was Karina, was on the side watching Vince, her dad, play. And I was on the side watching all of this, and I said to myself, I really want that one day. I want to have a child that loves the music I love and is watching me from the side stage of the Opry, the Grande Ole Opry. And when we were asked to play the Opry with Jamie, October the 5th, I believe. I don't think I will ever forget that day. Am I right, Dustin? Please tell me I am, because I'm going to go back in my calendar right quick.
You cut out for a second. What'd you say?
No, she said, was it October the 5th?
It was actually, I think it was. Yeah. I didn't get invited, so I don't know. I didn't know.
Oh.
I'm joking.
You'll be invited next time, okay? I'm sorry. I was just in, okay, so October the 5th. Yeah. I know, but when we were invited to play with Jamie, and I played Breakdown Here and Music City's Killing Me, but I obviously play Breakdown here first. And right, like 1 minute before I was going on stage, I was like, Matt was holding Jackson on. No. Matt was on the side. No, Mama was on the side. And she was, because Matt sings background vocals and plays piano with me. And so I said, I want to take him on and just so he can just be in that circle for a moment. You know, the famous circle in the Grande Ole Opry where everyone has played, because Jackson listens to Merle Haggard and Patsy Cline and Waylon Jennings and all the people that I listen to all the time. Don Williams. And he, like tonight, before Matt got home, I said, Alexa, play Don Williams. And because we have Alexa. And she knows Don Williams because he always pops up. And I promise you he would not look, because we dance. He and I dance to all of these people that I love and the country music I love. Jackson and I do. I hold him and we dance. And he would not let go of my finger. And we were dancing. But anyway, I wanted him. I had always dreamed, Dustin, about having a child and being at the Opry and sharing what I love, country music, and my passions with that child. And that child is a miracle, and he's Jackson. And I brought him to the circle at the start of Breakdown here. And he will never remember it, but I have pictures that I will tell him that he joined me on the Opry on October the 5th. And I hope we get to do it again. But that was like a huge gift and from God. And it was probably one of the best moments of my year, of this year. Makes up for all of the sad things that we've been going through. But thank you for asking me about that.
Well,
that was a huge deal in my life.
Absolutely. And, you know, there's something about no matter how much Nashville changes and how much country music changes. And, you know, I know there's been some questionable people that's played the Opry, and I won't name any names. There's been some questionable people play the Ryman. Okay. But still, for a musician like yourself, there's nothing like that circle. And I just knew that after everything you've been through, to be back in that circle after all these years, and then now to have Jackson and part of that, I just smiled when I saw that picture. I was like, man, I just know how happy that made her, I'm sure. And so because there's nothing like it for a country music artist, traditional, you know, there's nothing like the Ryman and the Grande Ole Opry. A good buddy of mine, Jason Eady, is he headlined the festival this year. He's playing. I think Jason's, you know, probably close to your age. I think y'all are about the same age. He's playing the Opry for the very first time next Friday night. We're going down to watch that. I just, you know, Shooter's playing the Ryman Thursday night, and then Jason's playing the Opry Friday night. So it's just going to be a really cool 2 nights in a row there. So yeah, I needed to ask you that just to get the answer I assumed that it meant a lot to you. So.
So you're going to be in Nashville a couple nights. Well, we need to connect. Well, whatever. We'll talk about it this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So let's round back around. So the album, I can't wait to hear it. I know everybody is ready for this weekend. I do briefly want to talk about just how damn good you are at the North Springs Music Festival last year. Ever since I'd met you, I'd always, so I was not doing any booking of any shows. We were just kind of doing the podcast when I met you initially. So about 2019, I started kind of just doing some, the acoustic songwriter series. And then, I really wanted that big name. And I thought, man, I kind of put it on Facebook, teased it. What if we could get Julie Roberts here? And everybody lost their mind. And I knew, okay, I've loved that music since 2004. But when you don't really see somebody for so long, you don't know until you know. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just didn't know how much your music still resonated with everybody and how just loyal your fan base was. I mean, I knew girls around here for years. I mean, there's nothing to do where I live other than it's not very legal. But, growing up around here for our pastime, we get a cooler full of beer and ride back roads, okay? We get on dirt roads where there's no cops, and it's just a thing. It's not safe. It's not a thing probably anymore, but, that's what we did. And I know so many girls back in my young single life that might have rode around in my truck listening to Breakdown here, and So just seeing that, I just didn't know. I just didn't know that resonated so much with so many females in this area that when I posted on Facebook, just showing interest in bringing you down, everybody lost their mind. And I thought, well, this made my mind. And I knew it'd be good. I should have put you last. That's whatever. That's a mistake I learned my lesson that night. But you set the tone, and I think it was like the third song in. You're like, you know what? I know I'm in the middle of a hayfield right now, and you kicked your high heels off, and I just think you set the tone, and everybody. I mean, the videos I've got of just girls, and I know I'm rambling right now, but like usually at my shows, if women are there, it's wives or girlfriends of somebody with their significant other coming to watch. But like you legit sold so many just female tickets that wanted to be in the front row screaming your songs to you. And I knew once you kicked those high heels off, I was like, all right, now we're partying. We're just going to have a good time. This is a success now. So,
which I love, and I can't wait. That's what I'm excited about on Saturday, because I'm just ready to do that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just have fun with those girls, and that is really what a lot of our shows are like on the road.
Uh-huh.
I quit wearing the heels. I started the boots because they're just like, I feel like I started wearing cowboy boots because I feel like they're more me. I will wear heels if I go out to dinner or whatever, but I don't know. I don't have to worry about falling, none of that stuff on stage, and boots, and I can just have more fun. But yes, I remember taking my heels off because I was like, you know what? I'm ready to just be me.
Yeah.
And I can be me in the boots. But yes, I remember that. And I love those girls at the front of the stage. I won't forget them. And I hope that I'll see them again on Saturday.
I think every single person that I remember singing to you, and that was really cool of you. She puts the microphone down, Lucas, and she's letting everybody sing. My wife can't sing, poor thing. She'll never listen to this interview. She can't sing, but she's belting it out with Julie.
Oh my God.
And my sister-in-law like maybe worships Julie. All these girls from Kentucky.
I love everybody that I met in your family.
Oh, the coolest thing last year. So my aunt brings her camper down, and Julie and the band stays on it before, kind of hanging out. Bayless goes missing. Do you remember this, Julie?
Yes, I do.
Bayless he's 6, so he's 5 at the time. He's running around, and Lindsay's panicking. She runs up to me. She's like, I can't find Bayless. And then somehow we figure out they're like, oh, he's on the camper with Julie. Somehow he had.
I remember that. And
smart kid.
But yeah, I get that now. I get the panic now that I have a 15-month-old.
Right. So how this came about with let's get into it. We've talked about the record, and we'll talk about now the release show, the release party this Saturday, Livingston, Tennessee, the Iron and Oak Event Center. I've never hosted anything in Livingston, and I was at 94.7 with my good friend Addison Johnson. He was doing a show in Livingston that night. Philip Gibbons, I hate when people say the GOAT, but he is the GOAT of country music radio in the Upper Cumberland and all of Nashville. He won CMA awards, and he said, "Hey man, you had Julie Roberts last year, right?" And I said, "Man, it was phenomenal." He said, "What is she doing now?" And I said, "Well, actually, she's got an album just releasing any day that Shooter Jennings and Erin Enderlin produced." And he goes, "Oh man, do you think she'd want to come in and do an interview or something?" And So I immediately text you, and I was just excited about the possibility. And that's when you presented this. So again, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to trust me to host this event. And I kept it tight for a few days until we agreed with Matt with everything, and then I put it on Facebook. And like 60 tickets sold the first night, and every dang girl that was singing front row was part of that. Yeah, I just think it's going to be great. I think now with you promoting it and everybody just we've added 2 openers. Mike DeMez out of Nashville, Rye Davis out of Kentucky. Both of those guys played on the festival last year with you, so they've got a good following already here. So it made sense to loop everybody together.
Yeah, and I'm just I'm excited. I'm grateful. I will be on the air with him tomorrow too.
Yes,
Philip.
He's great. He's great.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm just excited. Everybody come out And we will sing the songs, So we will be singing some of the new songs. It is an album release party. So I will sing some of the new songs. But we're going to have fun. It's going to be a fun night. And I don't know. This is our album release party, which is a big deal, Dustin.
No, I think I think so. I'm proud for it.
In no hurry.
Yeah. So, yeah. Go ahead.
I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and my mom may actually come.
Well, I'd love to have her.
Well, I know you would, and y'all have met before, but she normally watches Jackson when we go on the road. So we just got to figure that out. But she's been waiting for this record to come out too forever. Sure. And so maybe Jackson will come, and they'll watch part of it and then leave. But I want her to be there for at least a little bit of it, but we'll see. But I've got people coming from South Carolina. I have people come from Georgia, Nashville, that have told me, my friends, and everybody's excited, and I'm excited, and my band's excited. We're rehearsing, and we're going to be playing again songs from the other records that everybody knows. We're not going to skip those because someone asked me. They said, does it mean you're not going to be playing Breakdown here? No, I have been playing that song every night for 18 years, and I am not tired of it yet.
I'd imagine you can't leave places without playing it very easily.
You know what? And I don't want to,
right?
Because I have never been tired of that song.
I just don't get that. I don't get, and I know. I don't want to go into any specifics, but I can think of a couple artists. And there's a big guy out of Kentucky right now that is huge in the Americana scene, and he's already playing. He just sold out a big venue, and he went and he didn't play two of his biggest songs. He's only got 3 records. So everybody has their own reasonings. Basically, I'm not bashing that guy, but I know I would have been pissed if I'd have been out there and he didn't play those 2 songs. So I'm happy to hear that you still play that song. Because it is it's really not just one of the best female country music songs. That's one of the best country songs, ever, in my opinion. I think so.
Thank you. And Jason Matthews, who wrote that song, also wrote a song on my new record, A Little Crazy's Kinda Nice, which was a duet with Randy Houser. And it was pitched to me. That song was pitched to me when I was recording my first record, and but my label wouldn't let me put it on there. So I have saved it for 18 years.
Wow! Oh, no.
And I played it for Erin, Enderlin, who produced the last 5 tracks on the record, and I said I want Randy Houser to sing this with me, and because I have always loved Randy's voice, and his first song I listen to all the time, Anything Goes. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know how to get in touch with him. And Brian, who is you'll see him. If you didn't, he was at my show before with you, but he's my tour photographer, mm-hmm. but also helps me with all my marketing. Anyway, I said, how do I get in touch with Randy? And he said, you need to DM him on Instagram. I said, I don't know how to DM anybody.
I'm married. I don't slide into DMs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't. Well, listen, this was, I was married then. Yeah, you're true.
Oh, okay.
That is right.
Yeah, I got
but
you. Okay.
I just didn't know how to. And I said, can I write the message for you, Brian, and you DM him? And he said, yeah. So I wrote, hey, Randy, whatever. I'm finishing up this record, and I have a duet that I've had since my first record for 18 years that Jason Matthews wrote, and I would love for you to sing it with me. And he wrote back and said, so clearly he knows how to DM. Yeah. He wrote back and said, because Brian sent it to me, he said, hey, here's my email, send it to me. So I emailed him, and he wrote me right back. He said, I love this song, let's do it. And that was December of last year, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's how long it's taken us. And so then we recorded it this past summer, and I just love Randy's voice on it. And so, those songs, like Breakdown Here and the ones that are written by those amazing writers, to me, they never get old. And I will never grow tired of singing those songs because that's why I choose songs, because they connect with you in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said earlier in the interview, I may not ever sing, The King and His Crown, because it is so close to me. But, it's about my dad. But I felt like it was a part of this chapter of my life, and I needed to put it on there. And that's why it's on there. I might one day, I may surprise you and say, hey, I've never done this before, but I'm going to do it. I won't do it Saturday, though, I promise you.
Okay.
But,
well, it's your show. You sing whatever the hell you want to sing.
But, yeah, that's right. Thank you. But,
as long as you sing Break Down Here.
I would definitely do that.
Right.
But anyway, that's just how I just feel like the songs I like to record and the songs that I choose, to me, I just don't get tired of them. And that's why the songs I look for, ones that in 20 years, because I can't believe it's been 18 years or so since Break Down Here came out.
That's crazy.
Would I be tired of singing this? No, because I can connect to that. It's my mom's story when she moved to Nashville,
Yeah.
And I don't know. So yes, I will be doing that. Long story. I always get long-winded. Long story short, that is why I just don't get tired of singing that song.
Are you one of those people that prefaces a story by saying long story short and it's actually never short? Because I'm guilty of that as well.
It's never short. Yeah. I know. Yes. And this interview is probably way too long for y'all.
No, it's perfect. Actually, this will be. People will absolutely love this. You're so personable and so like your stories come out so easy to listen to. People will love it. I mean, you could talk for hours and people would love to listen to it.
Well, I would talk for hours, but
I do.
As Dustin knows, I have to work out tomorrow morning. You know what? I haven't worked it out since the last time I talked to you. When was that? One day last week before I went to South Carolina for my mama's funeral. And I have been trying so hard to get back into my clothes from post.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
And I'm back in them, by the way, but I love lifting weights. I love lifting heavy weights. And my bass player, who will be playing with me, is my trainer. Okay. And he owns a gym in Nashville. And I literally normally work out 3-4 days a week. And with him, and last week was one day. I will work out tomorrow, and I might try to squeeze in one Saturday before I get to y'all.
Yeah.
But all of that to say, I don't know why I got onto that.
No, it's actually, you know what?
Because I said I got to get up in the morning and work out, but I could talk to y'all forever.
Well,
that's what it was.
You had just had Jackson. Jackson wasn't very old when you played the festival, and I thought you'd gotten already in great shape then. But those pictures that Brian posted, or you posted that Brian had taken from the Opry, I even made mention to my wife. I was like, "Dang, look at Julie's arms! I like how cut her arms are right here. Like you are in fantastic shape, though, for real." You could see the definition in your arm, like you were holding the mic or pointing or something, like looking towards Jamie. In one of those pictures, I was like, "Dang, this girl is working out big time." So.
Well, you know what? The thing about it is, Dustin. I haven't because life is just, you don't control life, and in the last week or so that my life has been crazy. So I haven't been able to work out. And so you lose that muscle tone, but your body has muscle memory. So as soon as you get back in the gym and start lifting heavy weights again, it comes right back. So I've been working hard with Marty, my bass player, who will be playing on Saturday. And but then the last month or so, I've maybe gotten in 3 workouts. So I don't feel like those pictures you saw, but it's okay because life happens and you do the best you can.
You think she's being humble right now, Lucas?
Well, trying to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't believe it. Really. I mean, I'll give you benefit of the doubt. I don't believe anything you're saying, but I mean, it's fine. I think you probably.
I promise you. I'm like, what happened to my muscle tone? And I even texted Marty. I'm like, Marty, because I haven't been able to work out in like 4 weeks, but one time I said, really? You look, yep. but you'll gain it back really fast. So, in case y'all are interested,
we can do a flex off between you and Marty Saturday. It's whatever you want to do. We can pause the show long enough.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, I know. It's just like I said, it's your show. You do whatever you want. I'm just gonna just
you know what? It's gonna be a big party. We'll do whatever we want. Exactly.
Just know I'm gonna make it awkward in the middle of one song, and I'm gonna yell for Marty to take his shirt off. All right, just know.
I wish you would, because he is so shy normally. Like, he hates it when I call him out. I know he hates it.
Then we're gonna mention this segment for sure Saturday. You don't forget it now. We're gonna talk about it.
Okay, he is so shy, and so, but he is the most amazing human being, and trainer, gym owner, whatever, bass player. But just as a person, he's just a great guy. I've known him for many, many years, and many, many years he never even told me he played bass. And finally, my guitar player said, "Hey, your trainer is a bass player." And I was like, "Really?" So anyway,
and then you got Matt, who's in the book publishing scene, or in the book. I'm not sure. And like you said, he's with Joanna Gaines today. Then he's a husband, father, playing backup singer for you. I mean, was there anything that guy can't do?
No, nothing. Keyboard player. He sang on the Opry with me, and that was his first time singing on the Opry, which, because he sings all of the background vocals on the road, and he did some on this record too.
Well,
and he was actually executive producer of this record. This record would not be finished, honestly, Dustin, if it weren't for Matt. And because, did I tell you that he secretly got the tracks from Shooter and had them remixed and mastered without telling me? And because I was like, okay, I don't know if this record's ever going to come out. You know that. And so Matt did all that, and then one day I came home from something, probably the gym, and he said, "Hey, I want to play you something." And he played me "I Think You Know," which was a Jesse Coulter song, the last track on the record that Shooter's mom wrote, and it had been remixed and mastered. And I just cried. And he said, "You owe it to yourself to finish this record." And he said, "I'm having the Shooter tracks remixed, the ones that needs to be remixed and mastered, and then we need to figure out the rest of the record." And so, if it weren't for him,
it's awesome.
He said, "You wrote about this in your book, this record." He said, "You think about this record every day," and he was right. And Dustin, I didn't know what to do from that. I mean, you and I had so many conversations, and so if it weren't for him, and yes, you're right, he does everything. But if it weren't for him for just taking those steps without me knowing, because I would have said, "No, we can't spend that money." And he did that, and then I was like, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm excited now. Let's do it."
Well, I'm just going to note on this interview that we gave Shooter and Erin all the credit earlier, and it took an hour and 17 minutes to give poor Matt a little credit for this producing stuff.
Well, Matt wasn't in my life when I knew when I started with Shooter, so that counts. But he was in my life with Erin, and he's been very involved. He was also very involved with all the vocals that I did with Erin, and I mean, he was there through it all, but yeah, he's executive producer on this record because he made it. He made me not give up on it.
Well, that's really cool. He did that for you. I didn't know that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's a pretty awesome guy.
So to wrap it up, like you said, if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably already got the record. Ain't in no hurry. 14 new songs. Julie Roberts come out Saturday. Like I said, Iron and Oak Event Center in Livingston, Tennessee, just an hour and a half from Nashville. Opening acts Mike DeMezza, Rye Davis, and Julie Roberts. And we're going to have a lot of fun. You can still get tickets on eventbrite.com. They will be available day of. for I think $35. You got to charge these people, Julie. You got to charge them a little extra money the day of. If they're slackers and they don't get them in advance, we got to charge them a little extra at the door. But there will be room. I think it's a big room. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, and I think we've covered it all. I just want to thank you for your time. I know we could do this all night, but yeah, and good luck in the morning. I think I'm actually calling into the radio a little bit, probably after you, to talk to Philip. I'll probably do more about the event itself, and I know you're going to be talking a lot about the record. So yeah,
That's awesome.
Just love the time you spent with us. We appreciate it. And any last words there?
I can't wait to see y'all Saturday, and get your tickets now. It's going to be a fun show. We will holler out songs if it's not on our playlist, our set list. Then I know one of my guitar players knows almost every song that I've ever recorded, so we can do it. It's going to be a night for me that is in this release of this record that I've been so excited about for so long, but it's going to be a night for y'all to have fun with the country music that I love to sing, and hopefully the country music that you love listening to. And it's just going to be real country music. And we got a fiddle player come in, and I love her. And she has won 3 CMAs. Hopefully tonight she'll win her 4th CMA for Musician of the Year. So I'm excited. It's going to be a fun night. So y'all come out. And Dustin, I just want to thank you for believing in me for this many years. I mean, we've known each other for a long time now, and just everything that you've done has. I mean, from last year's show, we had so much fun, and then you reaching out this year for the radio station, and that we're doing tomorrow, and then this show. I mean, this is our album release show, and I'm so thankful it's with you because we just love you so much, and we appreciate you. And I'm just excited to celebrate on Saturday. We have a lot to celebrate, and let's do it up. So y'all
Absolutely.
Come out.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Like I said, I'm not paying you twice for Venmo, but I thought, but that is sweet of you to do it twice. But I do appreciate it.
I'm gonna cuss him like a dog and tell him everything he did wrong as soon as we get done doing this, because his head ain't gonna fit out of the door any other way.
Don't let Lucas fool you. He acts tough, but he texts me. I don't delete texts, so I've got a text he sent me telling how proud he was of the festival this year. So I'm not a.
I'm a big softy too.
Lucas, listen, I'm not going to listen to you because you're not coming to the show.
Bam.
See, if you were coming to the show, then I would listen.
Well, how about this? I literally just bought your album just right now off of iTunes.
You did?
I literally did it while you were talking right then. So, listen to me
there
now.
You go. Okay, well, thank you.
Well, I'll listen to you now. So.
Okay, well then now I got you, Lucas.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all it took.
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
What a.
But I do wish you would come, but I understand life happens.
Life happens. That's
it happens to all of us.
That's right.
And you enjoy your weekend, but we will miss you on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Are you done pandering over there?
I'm sure it'll be fantastic with this knucklehead.
It's going to be amazing, not fantastic. Amazing.
There you go.
Right.
That's better than fantastic.
How'd you say it? How'd you say it? You put a little extra country in that, I think. Amazing, baby. Yeah. There it is. All right.
It's going to be amazing. Okay, well, I love y'all, and I'll see you on Saturday. Well, maybe I'll talk to you tomorrow, but...
yeah, let me know. Text me when you leave the radio, or not leave, but when you after you talk to Philip, text me or whatever. We'll talk off air real quick, too. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for everything, and I enjoy being on y'all's podcast each time, and thank you for the support. And I'm just grateful to know y'all and that you love country music like you do. It just means a lot.
All right. Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, that was Julie Roberts. Thank you once again. We'll see you this Saturday.